Welcome into the Association postgame. I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz here with 16-and-a-half-year NBA veteran Robin Lopez and NBA insider / TikTok Live expert Chris Haynes in the house. Game 5 of Magic Pistons series has just concluded, and the one-seeded Pistons have kept their hopes alive, forcing a Game 6 in O-Town in Orlando. You guys remember that band, O-Town?
Yes.
You do.
Absolutely.
I knew you would. We'll talk about it later. That's for the after hours. Now, before we get to the highlights, guys, first impressions of that Cade versus Paolo showdown, really.
That's a showdown for the ages right there. Two young stars going at it. It's a must-win game for Detroit.
Right.
It was definitely a treat to watch.
There was a stat there. It showed that Cade now has the single-game playoff high for the Pistons, and I think Paolo is second now for the Magic all time.
Yeah.
So that was a record, historic game.
Pretty great company.
He's third. My apologies.
Look
He's
at
tied
you
for
with the
second,
stats.
Yeah, you know what? I am the most informed NBA analyst. I like to remind people.
You do like to flex on that quite often. All right, so, guys, as soon as players and coaches take the podium, we'll, of course, get you there. But for now, let's get to the highlights. See how it all unfolded. Yes, lean in, Robin.
Hooper.
Cade Cunningham and Paolo Banchero put on a show. It was just the second time in playoff history in which opposing players scored 45 points or more in the same game. The other instance came in 2020. That was Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell. Here's Cade Cunningham. What a performance. 45, a single game.
Do or die type of game. Well, it was for them.
Season on the line.
Yeah, season on the line. And we know the expectations that were placed on this Detroit Pistons. They are a #1 seed team in the Eastern Conference. They were that team for a reason. So if they were going to falter tonight, there was going to be a lot of questions that needed to be answered. Yeah. But thanks to Cade's performance and also Tobias Harris. He was a veteran, 23 points out there, 8 rebounds, played really efficient basketball. But Cade showed why he was a serious MVP candidate this season, and they needed every bit of it tonight.
I'm glad you shouted out Tobias, even though it wasn't reflected necessarily in the highlights.
Yeah, you get 2 points on the highlights.
But it's hard when Cade puts up 45. Right. But it's understandable. Cade was just unbelievable in so many different ways. Robin, you are the #1 Magic fan here at the Assoc. What did you think of Paolo matching Cade's 45 of his own?
That's what people say we've been needing out of Paolo, I think. And I think that was an incredible performance. And to show you that the Magic were that competitive against the Pistons without Franz Wagner kind of gives you an idea of why they're up 3-1, now 3-2 in the series up to this point. So I'm hoping they can get Franzi back. You heard I'm a Magic fan. We don't have to be too unbiased on this show, I don't think, but I think they were missing Franzi that game.
So, the Orlando Magic lost by 7 tonight. I'm going to tell you what their Achilles heel was.
What's that, Chris? What's that, Chris Haynes?
Well,
they were trailing by double digits at one point.
Paolo, he had 45. You make the case he should have had 50 plus. He was 5 of 12 from the free throw line. The Orlando Magic as a whole, 16 of 30 from the free throw line. That's not going to get it done.
No.
So you make your free throws, you win the game tonight. But again, the Orlando have another chance to do it at home, Game 6.
You mentioned Franz, and what does he add to this team that you saw was a glaring miss for them tonight?
So it's not just the offense he provides, because there are nights where he is the #1 option for the team. Right. Usually it's Paolo, but there are nights where it's Franz too. But also on the defensive end, Franz is a bigger, longer guy too, as well. And he's another body you can throw at Cade Cunningham. We saw Cade tonight exploded, obviously. So if Franz is out there, perhaps Cade still goes for, 38, 40, but you slow him down enough to the point where you can get the win.
So Tobias Harris's dad, Terrell Harris, which is his agent as well, he texted me, can somebody please show Tobias some love?
Yeah, we just did.
I said, if you tune in on NBA TV,
we got you, Mr. Harris.
I just showed him. Come on, Terrell. I just gave him some love, unprompted.
Keep watching and we'll do it a little more.
Do you have everybody's dad's number on there?
I got a lot of people.
Do you have my dad?
No, I didn't.
I was going to say, he
doesn't speak to us.
Can you try to figure out where he went?
Oh, stop it. All right, on that note, let's hear from JB Bickerstaff, who's at the podium. So the significance of this and what Cade Cunningham did tonight, most points in a playoff game in Pistons history, and that's going back a long time for this Detroit squad. So huge night for Cade Cunningham, even bigger for this team that needed the win, unless they wanted to go home, which I don't believe they did. Earlier this season, we talked a lot about the MVP conversation and why Cade was in there. He proved tonight that he is the most valuable piece of this squad. And that's no shade to anyone else. But if he's not out there putting up 45 points to do all of this, they very likely could have gone home tonight, Chris. Can they keep this going?
Yeah, well, listen, Orlando presents a tough matchup for Detroit because they're athletic, they're young, and they've been shooting the ball pretty well in this series. So it's going to be tough. They needed every bit of Cade today to give themselves a chance at winning. And if you look at, I mentioned Orlando again, the free throws. Coach Mose talked about that. Free throws and finishing defensive stops. And what he means by that is, Detroit missed the shot, especially before that dagger of a mid-range jump shot by Cade. Before that, Detroit shot it, missed it, and Orlando couldn't come up with the loose ball, which gave Detroit an extra possession, and that's what led to Cade getting that dagger of a mid-range jumper. And so finishing stops, you have to get the stop. You have to complete it, get the rebound. First of all, make them miss, then get the rebound to get the possession. So little things like that, I think is going to be corrected by Orlando. But definitely tonight, Cade coming through the way that he did and how he did it, it was needed.
I mean, people kind of forget the exact definition of most valuable player, right? It's the player when you subtract their presence from that roster, how much does that roster lose?
Correct, yeah.
And obviously you look at OKC, SGA's having an incredible season, unbelievable season. You subtract him from that roster, that roster's still going to do a lot of damage.
Uh-oh. You going there, Rob?
We're talking specifically team to team, okay? Let's just put it in that perspective before you get all in it.
We're talking about the definition
you gotta make sure you explain yourself.
Because I know we have to qualify, because I know you don't already elaborate.
We're talking about the definition of which team is going to suffer more if you remove Cade Cunningham or if you remove SGA.
I hear what you're talking about. I'm just saying elaborate because people out there, no, listen. Me being in this field a long time, I know how clips can be taken out of context. I'm just asking you to elaborate. Because people are going to assume Robin is saying that he don't think Shea should be the MVP because OKC will still fare better and Detroit wouldn't if Cade wasn't out. And I don't think that's what you're saying. I'm just asking you to elaborate. That's all. I'm looking out for you, trying to.
I appreciate you looking out for me.
Trying to.
Because I'm very concerned about what people online have to say. So, I'm thankful you're looking out at me. So, no, but we're talking about the textbook definition of MVP. When you string those words together, the most valuable player to a team. It's whatever player.
I hear you.
It's evolved into something else.
There's no argument for me.
It's evolved into something else.
Yeah.
But it's, the original definition is whatever player subtracted from the roster, that roster loses the most.
Yeah.
And they gain the most when you add that player to the team.
It used to be like that way with LeBron teams because it was heavy emphasis on LeBron. He did a lot for the team, especially on the offensive end. So when you take him out, you're essentially taking the system out.
Right.
Luka teams are like that as well. Not necessarily now with LeBron and Austin, but before. James Harden when he was in Houston.
Correct, yeah. And this isn't necessarily saying this player is better than this player, which is kind of, I think is kind of what the award has evolved to.
To be, right. Yeah.
Best statistical season, best narrative season, whatever.
But it is all relative to the team
it's
dynamic.
Relative precisely.
Yeah, I agree.
And with Franz being out for Orlando, sorry to go to a different topic. Orlando doesn't have much depth. They really played 6 guys today. They played Anthony Black, who had a phenomenal game, 19 points off the bench, really efficient. He played 39 minutes. And then they had Tristan and GB played 16 minutes and 13 minutes. That was it. They played eight guys. And so they're really playing heavy 6 guys. And so with Franz being out, it's going to be tough for Orlando. So I want to see. Hopefully he can get back soon. But if not, that does concern me.
That's a hindrance. All right, let's get you back out to the podium where Anthony Black is at the mic.